Hey, what up, YouTube? It's your boy K Dub. I just come on here basically to introduce myself. I've been thinking about starting this channel up for a good little while now. I think it's time because I got a lot of stories, a lot of content that need to be heard, things need to be said. We just gonna get off into a lot of good stuff. I think y'all might enjoy it. Y'all might want to take a trip with me. Just kind of see what my life been like. I'm 57 years old. Born and raised in Pontiac, Michigan. The dirty, the glove. About 24 miles from Detroit, Michigan. Really ain't no difference. All of it's the same. Detroit just right down the street, that's it. But anyway, I'm just gonna give y'all just a little brief, little something about my life and where I'm at now. First of all, I'm definitely a gangster. I believe in gangsterism. Been a gangster all my life. Right now, I'm kind of like semi-retired. I don't do the things I used to do no more. I don't really hang out in the streets no more. I don't do clubs, I don't do none of that. But I'm still plugged in, if you know what I mean. I got my ear to the ground, so I still know what's going on. A lot of my peoples, they still in the game. But anyway, let me tell you a little bit about me growing up. I grew up on the east side of Pontiac. It's kind of fast paced. When I was growing up, it was a lot going on, a lot of crime, a lot of everything going on. But as far as my background, I had a good upbringing. Mom and dad, they both worked at GM. Didn't want for nothing. I had good clothes, good shoes, all that. But I wanted more. That wasn't enough for me. I had to get out here and get my own money. So that's where the life of crime started. Started off stealing bikes. Went from stealing bikes, stealing out of stores, from stealing out of stores to breaking in houses, and then graduated to armed robberies. Once I picked up that burner, I put that mag in my hand. Oh my God. That was like a MasterCard, you hear me? You put that burner to somebody, they giving you everything. They giving you shit you ain't even asked them for. Yeah, so I after I learned how easy it was for the stick up, I just got addicted to it. I was robbing everything and everybody. And then I had got so out cold with it that I used to stalk people and wait for them to pull up at their house. And I had get them at gunpoint and march them right in their house and give me everything they got. Cause I learned that when you doing a B&E is just, you gotta look for stuff. But when you got the people there, they call it home invasion now. When you got people there, you just run up in there and they gonna tell you where everything at. You ain't gotta go through all that looking and searching, peeking out the window, seeing if somebody coming, all that. Nah, I ain't go through all that. That was too much. I'll wait for you. I'll see you leaving the bank, follow you home from the bank. Know you got money. You just left the bank. Boom. I'll put that burner to your head. You gonna get that cash up, trust and believe. You gonna run that cash. I had a saying that I used to say. This is a simple stick up. Don't make it a murder. Once they hear that, they get that bread up. Don't nobody want to be murdered. But anyway, that was life of juvenile. Back when I was juvenile days. It was where I grew up at. It was a building. It was 3 apartment buildings. Each one of them had three to 4 floors on it. It was like the Carter in that movie with Nino Brown and all them. And it was like mixed people stayed over there, white, black, Puerto Rican. It was a little bit of everybody. And what I used to do, they had their mailboxes outside of their house. I mean, outside of the buildings. So everybody used to get government checks back then. I think they called it general assistance. The men was getting general assistance, and the women was getting ADC. And I used to just sit back and just wait till the mailman run, and I see them, they all be down there lined up to get their check. So boom, I got my little pad and pen. I see who get their check. Whoop, I write their room number down. And later on, after they done cast their check and all that, I go pay them a visit. It had got so cold. I was so out cold. That one guy used to just knock on his door. I done robbed him so many times. He used to just slide the money up under the door in the envelope. I kid you not. He used to just slide his money up under the door. I was like, man. But yeah, it was a lot going on in them buildings over there. Anybody know what I'm talking about? I'm talking about Mechanic Street buildings. If you know about Mechanic Street back then, it was like the Wild Wild West. I'm telling you. It used to go down. You hear me? But anyway, yeah, that was part of my life of crime. And then I used to skip school. I used to catch the wine heads. They used to take this shortcut going to the store, to the corner store. And it's like a blind spot, like an alley. I used to catch them coming through that alley. Boom. Strong arm robber, take the wine, take their food stamps and all their money and dip. I go on the other side of town. I go get me, I go on the east side, I go get me some pottage meat and crackers, and I grab me some peppermints. So I used to take the peppermints, because they used to have this old cheap ass wine. I used to take the peppermints and put the peppermints inside that old cheap ass wine. I think the name of that wine was called White Port. I'd take the peppermints and put it in the wine and shake it up. That shit tastes like peppermint snaps. I'd drink that shit and sit back and eat that hog head cheese, get lit. I go buy me a little bag of weed. They didn't have this shit they got now. They got all kinds of weed now. With all this, where y'all get all these names from? They got names, Hubba Bubba, all these different types of runts. I mean, they got a million different names for this weed now. But back then we had Colombian Gold, Red Bud, and what else we had? Oh, we had that green shit. It's called Sensimilia. Yeah, Sensimilia. That was some good ass weed. It was strong. That weed was strong. Then they came out with some other shit. What was the name of that other shit? Damn. Name that other weed. Anyway, we used to get that shit from Detroit. That shit was fire too. But anyway, that was kind of like my life of crime. That was back juvenile days. After a while, I started catching cases after cases after cases. Did a lot of time in the juvenile home. Back and forth out the juvenile home. I get out, rob somebody else, go back, juvenile home, pump a little bit more iron, come back out, swole up, and strong arm somebody else again. I'm telling you, I did so much time in that doggone juvenile home. My picture should be on the wall up in there, because they definitely know me. But anyway, after all that juvenile time, I started going to the county jail. After the county jail, then it was prison. But before I went to prison, I ended up, that was back during the 80s. I want to say 80s, yeah. This was during the crack era. During the crack era. And crack started coming up like 84, 85, somewhere around up in there. But anyway, I ended up meeting this guy. It was some Jamaicans had moved up to Pontiac. And they had a spot, they had block on block. I remember it real well. They had, they used to sell $50 powder packs of cocaine. That's all they would sell was powder. Number 50s. And they was killing the game. These motherfuckers was killing the game. But anyway, I go get me a couple of them 50s and break that shit down and resell them up. I take them 50s and sell them for 100. But anyway, after that, I started getting a couple of dollars. I was hanging out up at this store called Sam's Store. And you know, any house that's next to a store, that's always the boomingest house in the whole area, the house next to the store. So I had a couple of apartments. They had like a house with 2 or 3 apartments in there. That's where we all used to hang out. It had a big front porch. We used to always hang out over there. And I used to sell my little weed. I used to sell little nickel bags. And I used to sell that powder cocaine. But I wasn't really making no real hell of a money back then. Until I went to jail one time. And they bring this guy, while I'm in jail, I forgot what I was in jail for. But they bring this guy in there, Jamaican guy. I'll never forget it. They bring him up in there. I ain't gonna say no names, but they bring him up in there. And he see me, he said, me man, I know you. And I said, yeah, I used to come to your spot. He was like, yeah. He said, me man, what they gonna do with me? I said, what they get you for? He say, they say they find dope. They don't find no dope on me. All me have is money. This motherfucker get to pulling out money. He had on one of them safari coats that had all the big pockets on it. This motherfucker pulling out lots of money. He's telling these motherfuckers at the officers at the desk, look, let me buy it out. I got money. They was like, nah, you come up here from Miami every other month and bring all this dope up here and all that shit. No, you ain't got no ID. So they was holding him because he didn't have no ID. They ain't find no dope in the raid or whatever. So anyway, I end up My ride came, paddy wagon came to get me to take me to Oakland County Jail. So, but before I left, I got his number. He tell me, "Yeah, call me, man, call me." So I ended up calling him and shit. When I got out of jail, I probably stayed in there for about 30 days or some shit like that, some bullshit. But anyway, I ended up calling him. When I called him and shit, he was like, me man, what's up, blood clock? That motherfucker always use that old blood clock shit. But anyway, I still don't know what the fuck that mean today, and I used to get pissed off when he used to say that shit. But anyway, this motherfucker tell me to come by his crib. I go by his crib and shit. They got motherfuckers, man. I go up in that motherfucking house. They got machetes and shit laying all on the tables and shit. Motherfucker over here standing over here with a motherfucking AK. Motherfucker come downstairs with an AK with the straps. I'm talking about this bitch strapped to him and shit. They walking around with these bitches like they toy guns or some shit. I'm like, what the fuck? So anyway, all the doors is open. Matter of fact, I don't even think they even got no doors on the motherfucker. So the motherfucker just walked right up in the house. They didn't give a fuck. But anyway, you walk up in there, you gonna get your ass tore up though. The motherfuckers was not bullshitting, especially that motherfucker upstairs in that window with that AK. He wasn't playing, he wasn't for no motherfucking game. And anyway, I ended up hollering at my man and shit. He was like, "Bro, you ready to make some real money?" I was like, "Hell yeah." That motherfucker gave me, what did he give me? About a half a brick. That motherfucker told me to bring him $7,000 back. I was like, huh? He said, bring me $7,000 back. I was like, okay, bet. So boom. That's when I get in the game. I get to slinging that motherfucking cane. And next thing you know, I get to cooking. To cooking that shit up. I got the motherfucking spot on Pike booming. Talking about this bitch is booming. So I'm getting money like a motherfucker. By this time, I done bought 2-3 cars and shit. Me and the girl I was with, we got us a little place and shit. I had water beds. I had all kinds of shit in this motherfucker in the crib. I had laid the crib out and shit. I was a playboy back then. I had that water bed. But anyway, I'm living it up. I got 2-3 motherfucking cars. I'm riding every day and shit. Motherfucking beepers and shit. We had beepers back then. Yeah, beepers and shit going off, banging like a motherfucker. I'm slinging cane like a motherfucker. Next thing you know, god damn it, here come the motherfucking haters. Motherfuckers get to hating, sending the police out of motherfucker, all that old kinds of shit. So anyway, I end up shutting down for a minute. So I shut down. They tried to raid the spot and shit, but they raided the wrong fucking house. Cause the house had 3 apartments in it. They raided the motherfucker upstairs and we was downstairs. So goddamn it, they ain't get shit. But we knew they was coming, so I shut down for a minute. But anyway, I go down to the Mechanic Street apartment building. I'm slanging out of that motherfucker. God damn it, that bitch pumping like a motherfucker, pumping better than that house ever pumped. And plus, god damn it, I end up getting cool with the motherfucking manager. And the manager gave me all the keys and shit to the empty apartments and shit. So I used to have my drugs and shit stashed in different apartments and shit. Plus the manager was smoking. I used to feed this motherfucker crack. I used to have guns in this apartment, dope in this apartment, and goddamn it, I had 2 other apartments that we used to be trapping out of. I had like 5 apartments in this motherfucker. This bitch was booming, you hear me? So boom. I started getting money, hoes everywhere, everything. I mean, everything was banging. Having a good ass time. I fuck around. Go out to Waterford to bust a motherfucking sale. I go out to Waterford, I'm on some drunk shit. I know I ain't got no business fucking around in Waterford. at no 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. I go out there in Waterford. I bust the motherfucking cell. I had just bought a Jeep, one of them Jeep Renegades. I just got a Jeep Renegade. And goddamn it, the motherfucking police get on me, flick me. These motherfuckers flick me. Now, I done already sold the dope. I only took the dope out there that I had. I ain't had no more dope on me. But goddamn it, for some reason, I went on a high-speed chase. I ain't had no license, none of that shit. So I went on a high-speed chase, man. Them motherfuckers, goddamn it. Next thing I know, I done ran off into a ditch. The motherfucking Jeep flipped, rolled, all kinds of motherfucking shit. Fuck around. These motherfuckers, I get into it with the police. I get all kinds of motherfucking charges for that. I think the Jeep, I bought the Jeep from a motherfucker. But anyway, something was going on with the Jeep. Like the Jeep was stolen or some shit. I had bought this motherfucking Jeep from a motherfucker. He ain't never give me the title. But anyway, that's why they pulled me over. They tried to say the Jeep was stolen or whatever the fuck. But anyway, I ended up going to motherfucking prison behind all this motherfucking shit. The motherfuckers give me like 2-3 years going to prison. I went to prison and shit. And next thing you know, goddamn it, they got my ass so far up north. I'm talking about I'm up north, goddamn it, where it's get 40 below zero. It's cold in the motherfucker. Joint called Kinross. But one thing about it, that motherfucker was sweet. Kinross was a sweet ass joint. They had it was something like a park. The yard looked like a park. They had a bunch of trees, bunch of picnic tables and shit like that. And then back then they had tokens. That was your money. They had these big blue $5 tokens, and then they had some pink like chips, like poker chips. Them was like dollar tokens and shit. So any motherfucking way, every motherfucking table on the goddamn yard, motherfuckers had blackjack going here, poker going here, motherfucker over here shooting dice. This motherfucker here was off the chain. They even had a bowling alley up there. They had a bowling alley. What else did motherfuckers have? 2 or 3 weight pits. This bitch, and then the dining room. For this be prison, the dining room looked like a fucking restaurant. I'm talking about they had nice leather chairs and shit like you might have in your house. And then the motherfucking inmates, they was like waitresses up there. You know, waiters and shit. So them motherfuckers would come to your table, empty your trays. You ain't had to do shit. You just go through the line, goddamn it, get your food, and then you talking about feeding the motherfucker? Them motherfuckers feed you up there. If you up north, them motherfuckers feed the shit out you. I think I was weighing about 135 when I went up in that motherfucker. Before I left Kinross, I stayed up there for like 2 years. Before I left Kinross, I was weighing like 175, 180. And I was pumping that steel. I was huge as a motherfucker. But any motherfucking white fucking around at Kinross and shit. When I come downstate, by the time I didn't even have no visits, I ain't even give a fuck about no visits, none of that shit. But that motherfucker was so sweet. You can they had like rooms. It was like 3 people to a room. They ain't had bars, they had rooms. And you had your motherfucking cable TV. Back then we can order TVs and shit, you know, headphones, all that old shit, Walkmans, all that bullshit. But what was so motherfucking sweet, they had the big satellite. They had a big ass satellite on the yard. And goddamn it, at night, these muscle bound niggas be in the weight pit and shit, they'd go outside And these motherfuckers would turn that goddamn satellite, big ass satellite. They would turn about 4 of these niggas. These niggas cockstrong. They'd turn that motherfucking satellite to pick up X-rated stations and shit. Man, we was watching X-rated movies in that motherfucker. I'm talking about the real X-rated penetration. Nigga, we was up in that motherfucker. And then you can go down the hall. These motherfuckers making wine, spud juice. And this shit tastes like the wine in the world. These motherfuckers making some hell of a shit. And then all the motherfucking white boys that stayed up north, these motherfuckers, man, had all the weed, bro. I seen a quarter pound of weed up in that motherfucker. Motherfucker had a whole quarter pound of weed. What they used to do, they used to put the motherfucking weed and shit in footballs. And them motherfuckers, goddamn it, had they motherfucking friends, relatives, whatever, come up to the motherfucking prison, throw that motherfucking football over the fence. Goddamn it. And these motherfuckers got quarter pounds of weed and shit. Man, we was smoking weed, nigga. Look here. We was drinking that motherfucking wine, and they used to put like purple food coloring in the wine. So the wine was like purple. They used to call that shit purple passion. God damn it, you drank that a bottle of that wine, just put it in pop bottles. Oh, they was real professional with that shit. These motherfuckers, you can go get you 2-3 bottles of wine, goddamn it, and a sack of weed, goddamn it, for $10. Shit. And goddamn it, you drink that shit, your ass be fucked up. And then they got like a store. And the store was like a store in the world. You can buy frozen foods and shit like that. Motherfucking Frosted Flakes, milk. You can buy everything out that motherfucking store. Goddamn it, look here. At night, I go buy me a box of that goddamn Banquet chicken, bottle of that motherfucking hot sauce, get some of that motherfucking rice-a-roni and shit, and some summer sauces. I cut that motherfucking, and then these motherfuckers had a garden, a big dumbass garden. And they motherfucking grew bell peppers, onions, tomatoes, motherfucking cucumbers, everything. We used to take the cucumbers and cut them bitches up, put them in vinegar, and make pickles and shit. So you got everything you need, all the vegetables, goddamn it, they was free. You get up in the morning, they be sitting out on a motherfucking table. You just go grab you a bag full of vegetables and shit. Bring that shit back to your spot. Goddamn, you cook you up a nacho out of this world with all the motherfucking trimmings on that motherfucker. And goddamn, so I used to get that motherfucking rice-a-roni. I used to have onions, bell peppers, all kinds of shit in that rice-a-roni. And I cut up one of them summer sauces, the meat sticks in that motherfucker. Make me some macaroni and cheese on the side. I'm up in that bitch eating good in the motherfucker. Watching X-rated motherfucking movies. You hear me? I got so swole up in that motherfucker. I was so goddamn pumped up. The motherfuckers started calling me Pitbull. Cause I was benching like shit, damn near 400 pounds back then. I wasn't wearing but like 175, benching 400. That was unheard of. I used to win every weightlifting competition in that motherfucker. They'll tell you about me. That's a motherfucker who know me. I used to win. I won nationwide every year that I've been in that motherfucker. But anyway, goddamn it, my dumb ass ended up getting a job on the motherfucking yard crew. It was in the wintertime. Snow had came. It was a motherfucking blizzard. The yard was so big that the police rode snowmobiles and shit. That's how big the yard was. They rode snowmobiles in the winter, and in the summer they rode four-wheelers. They used to have binoculars and shit, trying to watch them motherfucking shit. But anyway, I get a job on the goddamn yard crew. What the fuck I do that for? I didn't know it get that goddamn cold. It had got so motherfucking cold, bro, that you motherfuckers wouldn't even come outside. Now the child hall at most joints is separate from where you lay your head at, where you housed at, from your housing unit. So you got to go outside to the dining hall. Motherfuckers wouldn't even go eat. I'm telling you, it was just that fucking cold. You couldn't even fucking, it was like damn near 30, 40 below zero. I didn't even know it get that fucking cold. Your ass couldn't even, you go outside, you can't even fucking breathe. That's how cold it was. Yeah, and the goddamn snow be damn near 10 foot. I'm talking about damn near up to your goddamn shoulders and shit. That's how much it snowed. Yeah. But anyway, after I did that bit, I come home and shit. Everything ain't the same. Baby mama done sold all my shit. Cars gone, everything gone. I didn't have shit. I had to start back over from scratch. So anyway, what I get into? I think I'm gonna got me a job and I chilled out for a minute. But we gonna end this video for now. We gonna have part 2. I'm gonna give y'all a part 2. We gonna finish later because it gets even juicier. Trust me. All right, I'll holler back at you, YouTube. Peace. And by the way, this is not, I am not glorifying this shit. This is basically for, if kids watch this, this is what not to do. Don't try to be like me, because I'm not a role model and I'm not trying to be one. Let's get that understood. Go to school. Don't be no fool. Peace.